today we're going to look at how we use YouTube videos and other online media to revise. Okay, now you and like many other students so think, oh well, I've watched a YouTube video, that's the job done, I've done my revision. Well, not really. Okay, if you want to maximize your revision, there's a few other steps that you have to do after you've watched the video to help you maximize your revision. You see, because YouTube channels and things like GCSE Pod are the start, not the end of your revision. Okay, they're a great source of information, like a revision guide, but you need to be a user of information to be really successful, because this is what will lead to the understanding and the ability to apply in exams to help you get those top grades. So I'm saying that this is just the start of the process, not the end. So what should you do? Well, what I've done is I've broke it down into a series of steps to follow, and then hopefully I'll give you then some tips for beginners and also tips for people who want to go the extra mile and really get that deep understanding. So the first thing you need to do, okay, is you need to find the video that you want to watch. You need to make sure you've got any resources available for the second and third and fourth step. And also you need to make sure that your learning environment is nice and quiet so you've got no distractions. So no mobile phone, no TV, no music in the background. This is going to help you maximize the amount you can remember and recall in your exam. So step 2, you watch the video. So there's loads of great sites. So for example, free science lessons, superb for science. You've got Stacey Ray, who's really good for things like English. So there's hundreds and hundreds of more sites of this nature that are superb for your revision, but you've got to do something beyond just watching the video. So step 3, you've got to then use information. Now I'm going to give you some ideas to get you started, and then I'm going to talk about some more detailed techniques. Now bear in mind all the way through, I want you to think of this tip, and it's something which I call pave the path. Now pave is basically an abbreviation of personalization, association, visualization, and examples. So whatever technique you use, first thing I need you to do is personalize it. Don't just copy directly from the video word for word what was said. Second thing, make associations. Now associations are links in your brain with things you already know that will help you connect your new knowledge to the knowledge that you already have. A visualization is basically an image, a diagram, a picture. Now, if you're not a very good artist, print them off, okay? But at the end of the day, we're not generally judging you on your artistic ability. It's just a little trigger to help you remember key information in your exam. The last thing is, can you think of an example how this could be used, or an example from real life where it applies to you? So anytime you can add these tips to your revision cue cards, and I'll show you how to do this on the way through, it should help your recall going forward. Now, idea 1 is make the cue card. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is going to be a bit controversial, but you want to start by drawing a picture. All right, your brain is a visual machine. Use as many images as possible in your revision. Okay, then what you want to do is annotate the picture with just the key points. Okay, there's no point having lots and lots of text because you're probably not going to remember it all. You need to just focus on the key points. So if you look at the cue card I've got here, I've got animal cells, okay, I've got exam paper, biology paper 1, and then got topic, which is unit 1, okay. Then on the flip side, which is at the bottom, I would have a large diagram of the cell, which I've drawn myself, and then also I'd have the diagram labeled with the key points of what I need to know about the cell structures. Now this is a very simple way of starting to revise, but you will notice I haven't just copied directly from the text, okay, and I've used visualizations to help my memory. So idea number 2 is to complete an exam question. Okay, very important part of your revision process. If you are watching this at May time, you need to be spending at least half your time probably in completing exam questions. Now, the key thing with exam questions is you've got to answer the question first, you've then got to mark the question, and then what you've then got to do is you've got to make improvements if you don't get full marks. There's absolutely no point completing an exam question if you do not assess it yourself. Okay, so this is something that can be done straight after the video. Your teachers can provide you with them. There's lots of different ways that you can get access to exam questions. Idea number 3 is to make a mind map. Now, Mind maps generally have three main issues. Okay, so what I need you to make sure you do is one, limit the text. Okay, so here in this example, you have a lot of information, but it's nicely and neatly broken down into just key points. So it's very, very easy to see and it's very, very easy to work with. Now, the second thing what's really good about this mind map is that it uses diagrams. So for ideas, it's put a light bulb. Okay, for goals, it's put a flag. Okay, for benefits, it's got a happy smiley face, and for collaboration, it's got people holding hands and working together. All of these things are useful little hooks and cues for your brain to help you remember this information and make sure you get the right key points with the right part of your mind map. Now, the last thing which isn't on the diagram but is very, very useful is to use examples and associations. Okay, so for example, if you are looking at benefits, okay, so it's simple, fast, and fun. An example would be a time when you have done something that is simple, fast, and fun, but being really, really effective. Or collaboration, you might write down a time where you worked well together with a team that you then achieved a goal. So what it is, it's about making things personal to you and looking for examples and links that are already there in your brain. Now, idea 4 is what I call make connections. Now, what you need to do is you need to look at, first of all, at the end of the video, writing down every keyword that you can remember, okay? Now, what you then need to do is, after you've got the keywords from the video that you can remember, you need to try and make a connection, and then you need to explain the connection between the keywords that you've identified. So, on here, I've watched a video on animal cells. Now, what I'm doing is I've wrote down the keywords, so I've then connected nucleus and DNA, and then what I've wrote as the explanation is that the DNA is stored within the nucleus. Now, what you are doing here is you are building up connections between key vocabulary and you are developing your understanding. These things are more likely to stick in your memory and last a longer period of time, so you hopefully will remember them in your exam. Now, that's not the end point. Once you've got your key vocabulary and you've made your connections, what I would do is watch the video again and make sure that you haven't missed anything out. Okay, this can be then repeated multiple times, again and again and again, to build up your understanding of that concept. Now, idea 4 is the best thing to do in my opinion. So if I was to do a revision resource for the animal cells video that we've been talking about here, what I would do was I would start with an image. Okay, it's very, very visual. I'm much more likely to remember this than if I just write animal cells. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I personalize the information and link it to the key points. So, for example, what I'm going to take here is the idea that a ribosome is like a factory for building proteins. Okay, so I've linked in the function, but I've also linked in the idea of it being a factory, because I know factories build things and make things similar to what a ribosome does in your cell. What I'm then going to do for each key point is I'm going to try and have an association or another image. So what I've got here is a little image about meat, which is protein, okay, coming out of a factory. So this is another thing that's building up a layer of imagery in my brain to help my recall. Okay, now if I was to repeat this for all these points, I completely understand that this will take more time. But what I'm saying here is if you do this, you are much, much less likely to forget this in an exam. If you watch 50 videos, what's going to happen is all of that information is going to merge together because it's all very similar, although the context will be slightly different. But we need to try and separate the information, make it very easy to store in your brain, and make sure it's personalized to you so you can remember it for longer. So hopefully some of these tips have been helpful. So if you need any resources like for idea 3 to get started, okay, you need to go to therevisionguide.wordpress.com, and on there you will find all the resources and other resources that I put on there to help you with your revision. I will also leave that link in the comments box below. So hopefully this video has helped. If it has, please like, please subscribe, and if there's anything that you would like me to cover in the future or you need any of these points expanding upon, please comment below, and I wish you every success in your examinations. Thank you.